Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. Time to start 2019 with a bang, so we bring in the big names. Barry Curtin joins me. Baz, how are you?
Terrific, mate.
Well, you look like you're surprised. You didn't think you were a big name.
Oh, you said big names. And
you are a big name, mate.
We've got a guest.
Mate, survived a heart attack in the off-season, mate. Come back looking better than ever.
Oh, mate, I'll play Saturday.
Will you?
I will play Saturday.
Who for?
That's how good I am. The Bowls.
Bowls, okay. Hey, let's have a look at some of the issues, because big weekend in footy, mate. We know the AFL's starting, but the AFLW, the Crows up against Geelong, Sunday at 12:40, Adelaide Oval. Absolutely fantastic that they're at Adelaide Oval. What do you reckon the crowd may be for that game?
Are they playing it before or are they playing it after?
Standalone. Standalone.
Oh,
Sunday.
standalone.
Standalone on Sunday. Yep.
Wow.
There was talk that they were going to play it after the Crows game or before the Crows, but no, standalone.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be interesting because it's still free to get in, isn't it?
Yep.
They'll get a crowd. They'll get
20,000 plus, you reckon?
Yeah, they'll get 20,000. Yeah, there's no doubts about that. If it's, I'm a bit against this free to get in stuff. If the game wants to grow, it needs to. Let's see where it's at.
Yep.
Let's see where it's at before you start, because they're letting everybody in the gate.
Yep.
It has improved a lot.
Yes.
AFLW. No problem at all. There's a few more. Yeah, last year you would have seen 2 or 3 players in each side that had the skills and the and whatever. Now that's probably 6 or 7.
Yep.
It's growing all the time.
Well,
so
maybe
it's getting better.
Maybe it's got to get to a level where people would think, without being disrespectful, are prepared to pay to go and watch that skill level. So
I just like to see them charged to get in to see where it's really at.
Yeah, I think
not the freebies, but I think it's a big game. Obviously,
it's a massive game.
Game.
It'll be an absolute beauty.
So they'll get 20.
All right, Steve Smith, David Warner, they've been embraced by the boys. We've seen this week and last week they're back into the Australian fold. There's like brothers returning. What's your feel on Smith and Warner back in?
I think World Cup coming up. Really good players win your World Cups.
Are they really good players?
Really good players.
Smith
Steve
or
Smith
Warner?
in particular.
Is he okay?
Smith is up there with the world's best players. So, and really good players win you World Cups.
Yep.
So he's got to come back. I think they both got to come back.
Yes.
I'm not sure they were greeted with opener entirely. I still think there's a little bit of
angst in there.
Yeah, I think there would be, because what they've done to Australian cricket took a bit of a tumble after the sandpaper. It took took a bit of a battering.
Sure did.
So if I was one of those players on that tour, I'd still feel a little bit, hey mate, what sort of stuff was that? Okay, they're saying everything's terrific now. They've both been welcomed back. Oh, it's great, you beauty. I worry for Steve Smith. That's who I worry about.
Because
more than David Warner.
Why do you worry about
Well,
Smith?
David Warner's a tough nut. He's been through all this.
Yep.
He grew up copping all this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. He's been knocked down a million times and he
just get up, keep going.
Straight up.
Yep.
Steve Smith, on the other hand, has never been knocked down. He's a bit of a clean skin.
He certainly looked the more wounded.
Yes.
And they were both wounded, but he looked the more
That's
wounded.
what worries me. But he's a world-class player. So he comes straight back in the side. Right now, with the form against India, which has been totally underrated by a lot of people, it's a
big win, wasn't it?
Fantastic win.
Yep.
That shows you how good a team we've got and we can take to the World Cup. But you have to pick these two. So these two have to get in.
You've added a bit of icing to the cake.
Is the big question. And how do they feel about missing out?
Does it cause some disharmony in the group?
So right now, off the top of your head, Phil, who misses out?
I don't know. I'm always nervous when you've been successful, regardless of what's coming back, replacing them. And what you're saying, just don't want to cause any disharmony, but they're both so good.
He's got to play. They both got to play.
Yeah. I think that'll happen. I think they'll both play and we sit and wait and see what Langer does. Adelaide 36ers moving from the entertainment centre to the entertainment centre from the Dome, or it was originally the Clipsal Powerhouse. Now here's the thing that most people don't know. The Clipsal Powerhouse was the first named sporting venue in Australia. So Rob Gerard, Clipsal, 1992. Okay. Now they're all named with it, but that was the first named venue. I think it's a good move. I think it's a great move. Well, the transportation there and the restaurants and shops around it just makes it a much better environment, I think, for people to come in early.
They can
10,000 to 11,000 from a 6,000 to a 10 or 11. So I think it's a pretty good one for them.
Joey Wright.
3 more years on his contract, so I think they're in the throes of trying to work that out. I hear Sobey may be on his way to Phoenix, the new team in Melbourne, so if they lose him, that's a massive loss.
Well, that's a massive loss,
hopefully they can find a way to keep him, but money, as we all know, in any sport, mate, talks for players. His wife's due to have their first child. He probably sees this as his last contract, needs to get a little bit of finance organised, and that may be the way. Hamish Hartlett, quickly, after 11 months with that knee, about to play his first game, full game back in the SANFL. Ripping fellow, mate. We wish him well.
Fantastic,
no problems.
Phil. No, that's a great. He was in great form when the injury happened last year. He played 5 games and he'd probably playing his best football. He is so keen to play again. I've interviewed Hamish 2 or 3 times in the last couple of weeks. He is jumping out of his skin. Yeah. He's had a couple of little setbacks where you get with a knee because you might get a little calf, little tickle there, little whatever. But he's ready to go. Can't wait to put the Magpies jumper on Friday night to play against Adelaide, which he's going to do. He's good. I've got to ask you quickly, mate.
Yes.
Marco Kurz.
Yes.
Adelaide United.
Well, he's had a secret meeting. He's had a secret meeting now, so looks like they've smoked the peace pipe. He should have been signed. We all agree it should have been done. Or let him go, one or the other.
What is with Adelaide United? You know, the AFL clubs in Adelaide must be rubbing their hands together and thinking, here they go again.
Yep.
They keep shooting themselves.
Couldn't be better, could it?
Fair in the foot.
Yep, couldn't be better. Okay, let's talk about what's coming up on the show. Athletics. Andy Crawford is going to join us from Athletics South Australia. There's a lot happening there. Your favourite, Kate Sutherland Finch, is in with the softball, and she's bringing Ella Forrester, young 17-year-old girl in. The Magpies are up and about. Peter Chirac, CEO of Hockey SA, they've got some problems and he's going to come in and have a chat with us about those. Craig Warman's going to join us from the Southern Footy League, and he's bringing the president in from the Great Southern Footy League as well, so they'll join us. But it's time to get over to Bridget for all the sporting news. Bridget?
Thanks, boys. I'm Bridget here with your sports news, and what a week it's been. The Adelaide 36ers have announced they have a new home for the upcoming season. The 36ers will now play at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, which will allow for larger crowds and a more electric atmosphere. Team owner Grant Kelly says the success of Adelaide Oval has shown what a larger venue can do for a growing club. The 36ers, led by last season's MVP Daniel Johnson, will kick off their campaign later this year. South Aussie's Mickey Spano has made her debut for the Hockeyroos, strengthening SA's presence in Australian hockey. The Hockeyroos took on Trans-Tasman rivals New Zealand in the Pro League contest in Sydney over the week. The former Adelaide University star was influential in the attack. However, she couldn't get her team over the line, with the Hockeyroos falling short by 2 goals. With selection ramping up for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, Mickey is certainly someone to keep an eye on. To the world of bowls, the 2019 men's and women's prestige medleys took place over the weekend, with a range of SA regions competing against one another. The Salisbury and Marion bowling clubs came together to host the event, which brings South Australia's best bowlers to town. In the men's, Metro East toppled the Fleurieu and KI region to claim the championship victory, 52 shots to 32. The women's title was taken out by Metro South, who put on a dominant performance to claim their first ever win in the medleys. South Australian Athletics has produced another national star, with Tasman Murdoch claiming the under-17 heptathlon at the Combined Events Championship in Tasmania. Despite being the only South Australian in her competition, Tasman blitzed her events to claim the gutsy win. Still with athletics, South Australia's Dan Canala has become the first male in more than 10 years to break 14 minutes in the 5,000 metres. His jaw-dropping time of 13 minutes and 59 seconds was a personal best and a World University qualifier. What a week for athletics in SA. And the Adelaide Crows are looking to recapture their AFLW success when they take on Geelong this Sunday. The Crows put on one of their most dominant performances to date, with a 10-goal win over Melbourne last week, catapulting them into the prelim final. Co-captain Chelsea Randall has been cleared to play after overcoming a right knee injury sustained last round. If you're immersed in the world of horse racing, you'd have seen the vets taking samples and checking on the horses on race day. The South Australian Race Horse Owners Association is organising a function for people to hear from race day vets and mingle with horse owners. The unique event will take place on the 28th of March at Morfett Vale Junction. That's all for this week. Back to you, boys.